Hi, welcome in this new week in the life. Today, you know, I'm just gonna do the same thing that I'm gonna do every day. So yeah, walking a little bit and train first thing in the morning. After that, my usual routine that will take I think the 2 hours something. And yeah, let's get to it. Yes, workout done. So I really enjoy sometimes doing some active recovery, some stretching for myself. Not just after the workout, but as a workout itself. So yeah, I like to play with resistance bands, very easy. I do some exercises for depending on the day, for the back, for the low back, for the pelvis, and yeah, I just like to play it. And wherever I do anything else, or a workout, a running, I'm just doing some kind of sport with someone else. I just feel so much way more lighter, way more faster, and it's just feel good. So I got the impression that a lot of people had on their mind, just train the same thing like cardio, resistance, power. But there's a lot of aspect on the game that you know you can apply to in even if you are not doing a competitive sport, but in a day-to-day life that makes so much thing easier. Like, granted, this kind of exercises that I'm doing precisely for the day are surely not gonna get your heart rate to a high level, 120, 150, 170. No, it's just realistically speaking, it's not gonna be like that. But just thinking on the way of weeks, month, or years, adding this kind of recovery exercises just makes so much thing in the whole so much easier, and at the end of the day more enjoyable. And usually training, I would say easily a year from now I'm doing every day. I'm cold bath, so this thing. So yeah, like it's cold. I don't even know the exact degree that it is, but I usually do easy 3 minutes, something that is not too low, but it's not even 5 minutes. That your body starts to shrinking, and just feeling good. I started like 21, and it was just very useful for me. Right now, doing it every day. Yeah, guys. So did the showers, and I always feel like a baby after doing the combination of cold bath and hot shower. I just feel like a baby. And 9:30 right now. Just gonna do 10 minutes breathing meditation work so that my mind can be sharp. And after that, I think a little bit of reading, or what I'm saying, I can do it after because I'm going to IKEA in the evening, and to work a little bit there. I'm finding a little bit of difficulties in studying and working at home, and I'm just trying to experiment everything. And very easy, very practical, but at least I feel it's what the season of life demands of me. It's not always the same, doing the same exact things in the routine. Like, I don't believe in that. It's more like testing until you feel something that is working. At least for me, the most important thing is waking up every day at the same time. So after that, everything else comes down a lot of more easier. Eden, now it is 12. I did a little bit of work before, and honestly, eating very early. I mean, if I don't have time constraints with calls or other things, I just like to do that. And after that, I'm gonna go to IKEA in order to put some work in. And the reason is just as I was saying before, just going there and put in the reps. I'm finding it difficult to work at home, just in the bedroom. But sometimes it's good even to change a little bit. And see you there. Guys, doing a quick walk. Right now I'm listening to an audiobook, and yeah, basically, it's about stimulating ideas, creating and generating ideas for the next thing that I'm coming up, and yeah, just excited for it. It would be like, I don't know, 30 minutes, 45 minutes walk, and then I'll just do some deep work out of here. So currently I just did some tasks, and pretty smooth. Right now is a good day, not the best, not the worst, and yeah, basically, trying to build out my newsletter, trying to build out writing content that can be published on various social media like Twitter, LinkedIn, and so on and so forth, right, in order to make it more smooth and easier to reach out to you guys. So guys, it's currently 5:23, and yeah, I'm gonna go home, eat some dinner. Yes, I'm gonna eat some dinner, yes, at this hour, because after that I'm gonna go to my cousin's pizza, and I will work there for 4 hours. Yeah, so basically, long story short, I just need some cash in order to bring in cash flow to the business, to what I do, and yeah, in case I need a cash reserve, I can do it too. Right now I'm at a stage where I'm not sustainable just by doing the thing that I do. So yeah, that's what I do. At least some days of the week.
Yeah.
Salve, ho delle pizze calde.
Sì, quarto piano.
Grazie.
Grazie.
Grazie. Ciao, buonasera. So basically done the 4 hours of work, the other one, and yeah, I think I made 45 euros. So yeah, a little bit more than came across like $50. And yeah, right now it's like 10:40. Just gonna do a hot shower, recovery, journaling 5 minutes, reading just a little bit, and going to bed at 11:30, at least 11:15. So for today is is done. So see you tomorrow. Good morning, guys. Today is Sunday, 1 March 2026, and yeah, it's the day after I did my delivery and the other work of the other day. So I'm fine. I'm drinking my water powered magnesium. Yeah, it would be funny to see my vlog of 1 year ago. Yeah, I speak the difference right now. Sometimes, or I think like just 2 days ago, I think I saw a vlog of mine a long time ago, and I know, like, it's crazy, honestly, to see the path and sharing it with you guys on here on YouTube. And yeah, the schedule of today, pretty simple. Usually on Sundays, I take it more easy, more on on the resting side. If you're an entrepreneur or everything like that, most of the time people are just grinding every single hour of every single day. And to be honest, something that I've done a lot in the past, to the age of 16 to 21. So neither a few months ago, I was just doing this for all my life. Every single day. To age 16 to 19, my focus was getting better in my craft and fencing, and usually my routine after I finish the classes, high school, university, it just did fencing or everything related, right? And yeah, everything was around that. So yeah, every single day I trained. I think I've done, I don't know, like 3 years straight of training every day, something like that. But granted, I started when I was 4 years, so the habits of training was something that was almost in my DNA. It was something that and a second skin, something that I had to develop, like the kind of grind, the kind of the kind of persistence, doing it every day, right? Because that's the definition of someone who want to master the craft. Who's a writer, right? Someone who's right. who's an athlete, someone who's do athletic stuff or movements related, who's a chef, someone that cooks. So it all comes down to doing the thing, and we get freaking good at what we do. So nonetheless, I was saying that the schedule of today is, right now I like every day walking a little bit, like 3 minutes, just to get the sunlight and perceiving that it's morning. And then I would just do cold plunges, and at 9 I gotta do sparring with some of my friends of mine. We are gonna go to a place that is outside of Turin. It's called La Mandra. It's one of my favorite place actually to go, and it just really find inner peace. I think we're gonna do some technical sparring, very easy, like we're not fighting. So I'm like trying to experiment different things. Boxing is not something new to me, and the rest of the day, reading. I have to do 2 hours of writing too, and then the work that I have to help the cousin work at 6:30. So pretty full day, but I take it easy. It's not something that I'm doing. I have to put my fucking diversion focus on that. So for me it's more like recovery at the end of the day. Of course, I'm not in a period where I'm like on off, like working mode or not working mode, because to be honest, it's not the easiest period, to be honest. My grandma actually passed away 3 weeks ago, and out of things that happen, I understand that in this kind of events, I gotta actually get it slower and build a foundation step by step, because it's not just about the thing itself. It's also about the time that I spend and all the stuff, the family. So I just think that the worst thing that could happen is actually thinking that nothing happened and living like an everyday life. But the truth is not that, and everyone that do this at the end of the day, they eventually got burnout, or they have problems in their work that reflects their unresolved issues. So this week's I try to I've been working slower, like even if I did some hours, but consistently. That's what really fucking good. And there's no fucking thing that is stopping you, to be honest.
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space.
I don't know how many deliveries I've done, but I'm tired. And okay, whatever. So just a brief update, and see you after. So guys, done for today. I've just clipped some of the frame of today, and basically before I did something like 47 bucks, so not the worst, not the best. And currently is 12:27, and just going to sleep, recharge a little bit, journal, and preparing for the week ahead, and all the good things that will come out. So I'm very glad if you are still watching here, and like I always say, see you on the next one.